Morning and good afternoon, everyone. Sure. Yeah. All right, so I want to start by thanking you all for joining me here today, and I really appreciate your taking time to join in this conversation because what we are about to explore today together here, it's one of the most fascinating but very yet often overlooked forces in medicine and human health. Today's talk is basically based on Dr. Dispenja's book's second chapter, A Brief History of the Placebo. And in this chapter, he discusses the history of what's known as the placebo effect. So that's the goal. Like first, we'll look at what is the placebo, and then we are going to look at the history. It's not a new phenomena, my friend. Now, most of us have heard the term placebo effect before. Maybe you have seen it mentioned in a health article or maybe during a documentary after new drug trials. But here is the thing. What we usually think of as a quirky side note in medicine is actually a doorway into understanding how powerful belief is in shaping our biology. And it turns out it's not just about the sugar pills. It's about how belief itself can trigger real measurable healing in our body. And this phenomena isn't new. It's been happening for thousands of years, long before science even know how to explain it. So let's look at what is this placebo. And we can begin by defining what is the um, meaning of this term placebo. So simply placebo is usually a treatment where something like a sugar pill, a saline injection, or even a fake surgical procedure has been done. That has no therapeutic medical value on its own. But here is what makes it fascinating. When a person believes that this treatment is real and expects it to help them. Remember, when he expects it to help them, their body often responds as if it really is receiving medicine. So it's all your expectation. It's not that sugar pill. It's what you expect will happen after you take or you do this procedure. That's a placebo. Then their pain decreases, their symptoms improves, their energy returns, and in some extraordinary cases, even the progression of a disease slows down, or in some cases, it reverses as well. So, what's behind this? It's not the sugar pill, it's the patient's belief, it's patient's expectation. Belief alone can activate the body's natural healing process. That's our body's mechanism. Your belief only can also heal your body if you are believing. And this is not wishful thinking. There is modern science, clinical research. They have verified it over and over again and again. Now, you might think the placebo effect is a relatively new concept, something discovered alongside modern pharmaceuticals, but that's not true. Dr. Despunja takes us on a journey back to ancient times, long before science and technology existed as we know them today. It's so old. And in those times, communities didn't have hospitals or pharmacies, they didn't have MRI machines or antibiotics, but they had healers, they had herbalists, priests, and spiritual leaders. And these figures played a very important role in society because people they believed in their power. And that belief was often enough to initiate the healing. Just imagine living in a small village centuries ago. If you fell ill, you would go to the local healer who might perform a ritual or maybe chant a prayer or wave some for objects or give you a mixture of some drink made out of plants. And here is the remarkable part. Even if the physical ingredients weren't strong enough to treat the illness, many people recovered anyway. Why? Because they believed. They believed they will heal. And in believing it, their bodies activated mechanism we now understand as part of the mind and body connection. Ancient healing practices were filled with symbolism, rituals, chanting, ceremonies, and all those. They used different herbs and they believed in carrying divine or supernatural properties. Holy objects, charms were they thought it will help in their illness. Chants created an atmosphere of spiritual power. Even though they in some areas they had animal sacrifices, you might have heard about it. They were offered to gods or spirits believed to cause illness. Temples and sacred healing site due the sick or for miraculous recoveries. And while this, we might, dismiss some of this today as superstition, the important thing is the psychological and emotional experience that created for the patient. And that reinforced the idea that someone powerful was caring for them. There is something that was their belief that time. The treatment was meaningful and effective. Recovery was expected. That was in their mind. They didn't know the connection between mind and body, but they were believing on natural healing. And as modern research now shows, that expectation itself triggers changes in the our body's chemistry and immune responses. And this is, in essence, the ancient form of placebo effect in action that happens thousands of years back. Then, as the century progressed, medicine began to evolve by the 18th and 19th centuries. Physicians were starting to rely more on systematic observation and early scientific methods. But here is what's interesting. During this time of growing medical knowledge, doctors noticed that sometimes patients improved after taking treatments that had no real therapeutic effect. Physicians would give patients colored bottles, sugar pills, or simply a syrup and call them tonics. And many of those patients, they were genuinely felt better, not because the remedy contained healing chemicals, but because the patients believed it would help them. And in fact, some early doctors, they intentionally gave these treatments to calm anxious or distressed patients. And these were sometimes known as placebo prescriptions. Treatments given to satisfy a patient's need for action and care, and knowing that belief alone could initiate the relief. So, as medicine advanced into the 20th century, doctors and researchers they realized they needed a way to separate the actual effect of a new drug from the effect of the patient's belief. And that started the development of what we now know as a controlled clinical trials. And in these trials, like some patients are given the actual treatment and some others are given a placebo. They divide their groups into two. And sometimes not neither the patient nor the doctor, they know who received which. It's a system called a double-blinded placebo-controlled trial. And this method became the uh, gold standard for testing new medicines because it accounted for the fact that belief alone often produced significant health improvements. And in countless cases, the placebo group, those receiving a sugar pill or saline injection, they experienced very noticeable and sometimes very dramatic benefits. And this was not just a coincidence. Its the effect appeared consistently across studies involving pain relief, depression, anxiety, sleep disorders, blood pressure, you name them. Even some cases, Parkinson's disease as well. So the power of belief was undeniable. Now we are going to look at some of the cases that Dr. Dispenza discussed in his book. So, first one is about Dr. Henry Beecher. And Dr. Henry, during the World War II, American anesthesiologist Henry Beecher, he ran out of morphine while treating wounded soldiers. He was on the battlefield. He was so desperate that he just injected some um, soldiers with simple salt water, telling them it was morphine. And remarkably, many of these soldiers experienced relief from the pain. Their vital signs stabilized. Some of them even went under uh, surgery as well with reduced distress purely because they believed they had received a powerful painkiller, morphine. And actually, they got just salt water. Later, decades after, in a controlled medical study, a group of patients suffering from severe knee pain also divided into two groups. It was a controlled study. And one group underwent actual knee surgery, and the other group had a placebo surgery. They call it sham procedure. Doctors made slits, they made surgery, but didn't actually operate. It was just, placebo. And months later, both groups reported similar reductions in pain and improvement in their mobility. Their bodies healed because their minds believed surgery had been done. So there, I have just shared only a couple of the examples here. But if you read the book, there are many more. So what does all of this mean for us? This means that belief is not a simple or abstract idea. It is a powerful form of medicine. Belief is that important. It's a, you can say it's a powerful form of medicine. Even without real drugs, our minds can trigger healing responses in our body. And this isn't superstition. It's backed by centuries of observation and decades of modern scientific research. So, when we believe something will help us, our brain and our body begin to respond to that expectation. So, remember, your expectation, your beliefs are so important. What you expect from your body, that will happen. And you might have noticed sometimes people, if they say, okay, I am feeling sick, I am having, a headache and all that, but the person start feeling that. So what we need to do, we should expect from our body positive or feel I am feeling healthy, right? So that's the importance of our beliefs on our body. So, thank you so much for joining me today. for this history of the placebo effect. We are going to continue the same chapter tomorrow. And I hope you have found this, this work very interesting. So we'll continue this conversation tomorrow. Now let's begin our meditation. So let me, yes, let's prepare for meditation first. So please remove your glasses if you are wearing them. Close your eyes and cross your legs, clasp your hands, cross your fingers, close your eyes, and take a deep breath in and out. So take another breath in and exhale. Now slowly start focusing on your normal and natural breath. Thoughts will come and go, but that's natural. Do not analyze them. Bring your attention back to your breath. Just focus on your normal, natural breath. Be with your breath, masters. Be with your breath. Be with your breath, masters. Be with your breath. Be with your breath, masters. Be with your breath. Be with your breath, masters. Last 5 minutes, masters. Be with your breath. Last 1 minute, masters. Last 30 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, very slowly, very gently, please bring your awareness back to your body. Put your hands on your eyes. Now, blink your eyes and slowly open them. Look at your palm with a big smile and take a moment to thank yourself for giving this time for stillness, awareness, and healing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you have any question or any comments, or if you want to share your experience, please unmute yourself and share. So I guess there is no question or comment. So see you all tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me today. And remember, expectations are very powerful. So the whole day, I want you guys to expect good things. So good things will happen with you. So have a good day, everyone.
Thank you.